Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are looking at the final game from the Superbet Chess Classic that just concluded. We want to say congratulations to MVL for winning in the last round, and congratulations for all the players for putting on a superb tournament. Now, I want to remind everybody that Chess Audiobooks is on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Chess, chess.com. So please follow me on those platforms. Please hit the thumbs up button, of course, and please consider subscribing to my channel and supporting the channel via donations if you like the content. Now, what can I say about this game right here? We're starting at move 28. Black has just played the move Rook C3. The black pieces, of course, is Maxime LaGrave. With the white pieces is Alireza, Firouzja. And Maxime here has just played Rook C3. Just looking at the position real quick, looks pretty drawish here, but you can see that black is down a pawn here. But his piece activity compensates enough. In here, Maxime offers a rook trade here. And Alireza turns that down and plays the move knight c4. Alright, if he takes here, if he plays rook takes c3 here, then could go b takes c3, freeing up that passed pawn for Maxime. Knight c4, c2, and now white gets tied up trying to stop this passed pawn. Knight b4 with this threat of rook d1, and then this forces white into passivity. And this is why, even though a pawn down, or although a pawn down, black is able to be equal here. White has enough resources not to lose, but not enough to win, although he's a pawn up in this position. So Alireza declines the rook exchange here and plays the move knight c4. Okay, and now after knight c4, black gains his pawn back. Rook takes b3, and it's a dangerous one at that. Dangerous passed pawn. But Alireza has ideas of using his pawn majority on the king side to attack white's f7 pawn, and let's see what happens here. So e4, rook e8, putting a pin on the e pawn so that if e takes d5, then the rook on e1 will fall. So Alireza plays d6, all right, and so d6, knight d6, and his idea is to play rook c7, and to after the knight moves off d5, of course, to attack the f7 pawn. All right, so knight d6 attacks the rook, of course, on e8, and it's attacking the f7 pawn. So rook e6, and now rook d1. So now the threat is legitimate against the knight on d5. So knight f6 from LaGrave, e5, and now knight g4. If rook takes e5 here, then just rook c7, and there's no good way to defend the f7 pawn. So after e5, knight g4, okay, and the idea here is now on rook c7, attacking the f7 pawn twice. Then knight takes e5, which defends f7, and this is what happened. Rook c7 and knight takes e5, defending. Firouzja, of course, saw this, played f4 again to harass the knight. And here, LaGrave played a fantastic move. Rook d3, forcing the exchange of pieces, okay, and reducing white's dynamic attacking possibilities. And now what comes to the forefront is this passed pawn on the b file. So rook takes d3, knight takes d3. Yes, white captures with f7, captures on f7, but the most important pawn is that free one on the b file. So king g8, rook d7, b3, and this pawn is just going to simply cost Firouzja a piece. King g7, rook d7, king f8, knight c4, B2, and Firouja loses a piece. Rook A7, knight takes A4, rook takes A5. Okay, so black is still down a pawn, but he's up a piece. Knight B6, G4, and I remember at this time the commentators still felt that it might be a way to draw here. Play continued, and all black has to do is just be careful now at this point and take his time. Firouja trades off a few pawns, and now black is slowly gonna just march his king up with the assistance and security of the rook and try to weave a mating net around the white king. King F3, knight H5. Okay, so now the pawns are fixed, and now it's time to just march the king and the rook down together. Rook E4, rook D1, rook A4, king E6, check, rook defends, king marches to E5, rook A3, rook D4, and now king is deep into the white position, and now there's a mating net, and also white has to worry about just losing the pawns also, and of course with the extra pawn it's an easy win also. So after rook A4 and knight F4 check, Firouja resigned. For instance, a sample line could be knight F4, king H2, rook E2, king H1, and then knight H5 here. Say rook A3, king G4, king G1, knight G3. And again, the pawns are going to fall, and checkmate is also in the air if white tries to preserve those pawns somehow. All right, so what do I want to say about this game? This game again could have been easily drawn. So let's go back to this plan here where Firouja decided to play knight D6 and attack the F7 pawn. So here, instead of knight D6, which was played, simply a move like rook C5 here, and then just simply trading off everything, and the players could have just shook hands. Okay, just a quick sample variation there. Again, instead of knight D6, just knight takes A5, rook A3, knight B7, and again, players could have just shook hands as the pieces come off the board. So, am I saying that Firouja just didn't see these lines? Of course he saw them. He's 2800. He's a brilliant tactician. He sees everything. What happened is he misevaluated the position. He saw the lines, I'm sure. He saw the options. And his style of play is to go for the win incessantly. He has that style similar to Richard Rapport, similar to his great predecessor, Bent Larson, right? Similar to certain players like Alexei Shirov, Fischer, right? Even Magnus Carlsen has this propensity to press for the win. They don't want to draw. They want to try to win, whether they have the black pieces or white pieces. And it really takes a special player to press and press and press like that. And it looks beautiful when you win the game. But when you lose, everyone says, well, you had the draw right here. You could have drew the game right here. And ladies and gentlemen, that comes with that style of play. You're going to have some fantastic wins through your efforts of pressing when maybe you shouldn't have pressed. And then you're going to lose some spectacular games. And it's interesting because two players come to mind with that style that are probably the greatest players in chess history. That is Magnus Carlsen and Bobby Fischer, who would incessantly press like these like drawn end games and positions where other grandmasters would probably just shake hands and call it a day, and they would squeeze wins out of these positions. And so you see other grandmasters with the similar style, but their results are more up and down. Their results vary greatly. You'll see fantastic wins and fantastic losses, just like Richard Rapport, for instance. That style is not for everybody. Now, Firouja is interesting because him being so young, it's interesting to see what effect this tournament result is going to have on him, because he had a rough tournament. 2021 he was undefeated, right? He was fire on board like Sheraton, right? He was undefeated and being spoken of as the next candidate, right, for the World Chess Championship, right? He has the rating and he also has the youth to go with it. Now, in this tournament, it almost looks as if players have caught up to him, basically, or like just figured out how to play him. And so it's going to be very interesting going forward into the next tournament, I believe in Poland, in the next Superbet tournament, to see how he does, because this is definitely going to have an effect psychologically on him, and he's either going to learn from this and become better, or it's going to set him, put him in a rut or set him back. That's my prediction. But it seems to me in this tournament that the players have kind of adapted to his style, and that's going to be interesting to see if he's able to adapt and overcome. So anyway, that's just my take on that. Congratulations to MVL, of course, won in the playoffs, and congratulations to Wesley So and Aronian for having a fantastic tournament. So you still see like the old guard flying high still, right? And it's funny saying these guys are the old guard, but yeah, they are now. MVL, Aronian, Wesley So, right? That's like the old class. These guys are trying to come up and take over, right? The Alireza Firouzjas of the world, the Jan Christoph Dudas, and even Deac here, who had a great tournament, right? Being the lowest rated local player, he had a respectable tournament. So it's going to be interesting. But anyway, I want you guys to get in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think about Firouzja. Have these players kind of figured him out, and is Firouzja just kind of settled back in the pack, or was this just a off tournament? Because Fabiano had an off tournament too. So, and of course he's able to bounce back. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you don't do anything else, just hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you guys on the next video.